Howdy everybody, Steve here, KM9G. Today we're going to do some more adventures with the Evolve 3 laptop. I bet you're wondering, like I am, how does this thing stack up next to a Raspberry Pi? I guess for starters, you can get one of these if you're near a micro center. Let's get over to the machines and off to the races. This is the Xubuntu machine, and where is the processor info? Intel Celeron N3450 at 2.2 gigahertz, which is interesting because Windows said it was 1.1. And Intel HD graphics. Let's connect to the Raspberry Pi machine. Okay, so this is my Raspberry Pi 4. Raspberry Pi 4, Model B, Rev 1.4. Oh, that's why. I forgot apt. And Hard Info is a really simple diagnostics program for your computer. Come up here, and let's do System Profiler and Benchmark. And CPU Intel Celeron N3450. And this will give you a ton of extra information. But what I'm interested in is comparing the benchmark. So Blowfish, don't move your mouse or press any keys. Crypto hash, don't move your mouse or press any keys. We'll go over these numbers in a second. I'm just getting the tests run. Benchmarks are finished. Let's get them compared. Metal is the name of the, you can't even see that. Let's get, let's pull up Blowfish. Where are we? Results in seconds. Lower is better. We're way down the bottom of the list. This one is 3.9 for the laptop. And let's see where this one here is. .6 for the Raspberry Pi. So the Raspberry Pi loses this round. Crypto hash. Whew. All right, folks, the results are in, and it looks like the Evolve 3 is the winner. It beats the Raspberry Pi 4 at most things. CPU Blowfish, Evolve 3, Crypto Hash, Raspberry Pi 4, Fibonacci, Evolve 3, NQueens, Raspberry Pi 4, Zlib, Evolve 3, FFT, Evolve 3, Ray Tracing, Pi 4, GPU Drawing, Evolve 3. It's a 5-to-3 ratio here with the Evolve 3 in the lead. So a couple of quick notes about this. I used Xubuntu as the window manager on the laptop, and I used XFCE on the Raspberry Pi, so they're the same window manager, XFCE and XFCE for Xubuntu versus Raspberry Pi OS. I used VNC to handle the screen at the test points so that whatever overhead there was for VNC was present on both of them. And the Raspberry Pi 4, I think, has more memory. Raspberry Pi 4 has 8 gigs of memory. Okay, so the Raspberry Pi 4 has twice the amount of memory, so it should have had a bit of an advantage and still lost. Interesting. So I think the cost of a Raspberry Pi 4 now is overly inflated due to world economy, market, chip shortage type issues, and the Evolve 3 is about $60. Normally the Raspberry Pi 4 should be in that $60 to $80 range, but it is not. The laptop comes with a built-in screen, mouse, and keyboard. Comes with less connectivity, so there's no GPIO headers. There's only 2 USB ports instead of 4. There's no Ethernet port. The Raspberry Pi 4 has 2 HDMI outs. The laptop only has 1 HDMI out, but comes with a built-in screen, so maybe a little bit of a wash there. Not 100% sure. But at the end of the day, you can get your hands on these Evolve 3 if you are close to a micro center or you have a good friend that's going to help hook you up with one of these things. I think it's a great value. I really don't have any complaints. Where we go from here in the ham radio world is we have to install a bunch of ham radio apps. I have a video right over here about all the ham radio apps and the Linux configuration that I use in my day-to-day ham shack world. And also my good friend Jason KM4ACK has his Build-A-Pi software, which will work on both of these machines. So take a look over there. Thanks for being awesome. We'll see you in the next one.